Dear brothers and sisters, queridísimos hermanos y hermanas, bien chers frères et sœurs, liebe Brüder und Schwestern,
Дорогие братья и сестры, 亲爱的兄弟姊妹们，
fratelli e sorelle carissimi, habemus
Dixo proudly presents the ApeCoin DAO Special Council Election 07-2024 with candidate
I'm Aaron Haber, and I'm running for ApeCoin DAO Special Counsel. I've been full-time Web3 since 2021. I've been in the comedy events industry for 30 years. I'm a proud original Bored Ape Yacht Club minter. I have held on to that ape all the way up and down, so questionable if I make good trading decisions, but I'm proud to be in the Bored Ape Yacht Club, as well as in Mochaverse, as well as in Bulls on the Block, Surreal Guild, Journey Club. I try to become part of as many delegations as possible to understand the needs of the DAO. And thank you for having me on the program.
Can you tell us why are you running for special counsel?
Gosh, just a huge amount of ego. That's the only reason. No, I've been working with the DAO for a while, and I'm privileged to have a lot of great relationships with stewards, special council members, delegations, just from being in the space for so long. And the DAO is great. The DAO can be even greater. I can see some of the pain points of the DAO from talking to all my contacts. And I would like to help the DAO evolve into a stronger, more successful version of what it is. And I'm also very passionate about helping the builders in the community. The ApeCoin DAO is meant to be for builders. It's meant to be for artists, for builders, for founders to fund their ambitions. The founders of the Bored Ape Yacht Club had great success, great luck based on their hard work, and great wealth, and they wanted to share that. They spun off this digital asset, ApeCoin. They spun it off for legal reasons, but I believe it was always their intention to allow people in their community and in the Web3 community to get some of the good fortune that they had themselves. And that's why when an AIP comes along, I'm always more leaning towards yes than no. If there's something really outrageous or there's no way it's going to work, then yeah, I'll vote no for it. But I want to see as many builders from as many different walks of life, whether it's technical, artistic, whatever. I want to see them succeed here in the DAO. And so those two reasons are the main reasons why I am running.
Okay. And once you're elected, are you going to work full time?
Look, I mean, there are things that you're supposed to say as a candidate, right? Like, if I am elected, I will neglect my family, stop eating, not do anything except, a DAO mantra 24/7. Look, if you read the documents of what the special counsel requires, it requires you to be full-time when needed. One of the things I do is I read over documents and I make sure I read every word because words have great meaning, especially in documents and contracts. So I will be full-time when the DAO needs me to be. I will take the position incredibly serious. No one's going to work harder or longer hours than I am on the DAO, but am I going to give up my comedy company, Laughing Ape? No. Am I going to stop talking to my family or stop petting my dogs? No. I'm going to have a full life, but I'm going to dedicate an excellent amount of time towards being the best member of special counsel I can possibly be, which is pretty damn good, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you're not even elected, and I see you on every space, on every ApeCom space and Mochaverse space, and you're always there, and you're always speaking. So I would assume that if you don't get elected, you will still be very much involved in the DAO.
Yes, I mean, I don't want to give people the milk for free. Look, you know personally that I meet with AIP authors that reach out to me about help with their proposals. Because like I said, I'm very serious about paying it forward. I was fortunate enough to get a coalition of delegations together and voters for my AIP, my original AIP, 346, to put on 12 comedy events for the ApeCoin DAO. We just did our third event in Austin, and I want to help other authors get their ambitions funded as well. So, yes, I'm almost full-time in the DAO now. I just don't get paid. It would be very nice to do the things I'm doing and get paid, and also have the position of special counsel to have my words mean a little bit more. and to be able to put things into play that I want, which, by the way, is not unilateral, right? There are 5 special council members, but also I can't just decide to make governance changes. I can put up an AIP and have the DAO decide to do that. But coming from a special council member, it holds a little bit more weight than coming from a crazy dude in a red hat. So yes, I'll still spend time, but more time if I'm elected, for sure.
And I know that you've been very adamant about transparency and accountability. And you're very much against the NDAs that are being signed by the special council members. How would you go by addressing this issue and not making a lot of enemies on the way?
I'm not sure who are defenders of NDAs. I mean, look, I'm not against NDAs. I have signed NDAs before. I have asked people to sign NDAs. They're quite common, when you're reaching out and working with a new person. What I do see in the special council over the past year or so that I've been here is I've seen countless special council members, stewards, get up in public and say, somebody will ask a question, they'll go, I can't answer it because of the NDA. I can't answer it because of the NDA. These are not like nuclear codes, right? So first of all, it's not that I'm against the NDA. I'm against signing an NDA that'll make me disappear for a year, right? If I see the NDA and it's fine, I'll sign it. If I see the NDA and it's overbearing, then I will have my lawyer, red mark it up and say, no, this is too draconian. I won't do it. And it'll be interesting to see at that point what happens, because at that point, I will have been an elected member of the special council. And so does legal have a right? Maybe they do, but do they have a right to keep me off the special council if I won't sign their exact version of the NDA? I'm completely fine not talking about things that can't be talked about, but there's got to be a level. It shouldn't be that there's nothing you can talk about once you're special counsel or once you have a stewardship. I'm all about signing an NDA, but it has to be reasonable. It has to allow me to be transparent with the DAO. We are a decentralized autonomous organization. You can't say anything that's going to put the DAO in legal jeopardy. Okay, I completely understand that. But talking about your internal process of doing your job should not be part of that. So we'll see. These are things that we can't know because nobody's allowed to talk about them because of the NDA. So we'll see.
And now, speaking of inclusivity, I know that you've been very successful in bringing the comedy shows to an AIP into Web3. Will you be supporting those AIPs that bring normies into the DAO?
Of course. It goes without saying. I mean, first of all, I support almost every AIP, which, people say, well, that's ridiculous. How can you do that? We have a $500 million treasury with like a $7 million unlock each month, depending on the price of Ape. We can afford to fund most of these, most months, you wouldn't even hit that $7 million besides the treasury we already have. And you need to get other AIPs in to get return on investment to be able to keep the DAO treasury flush. Some of these projects that the DAO gives a grant to / invests in are not going to work, but some of them will. And so I support most AIPs. I want to give most people a chance because I'm a small entrepreneur. Like, I know what it's like to not be funded. I know what it's like to struggle to get your company funding. If I can help other authors, with their AIPs, I'm going to support it. So, but the larger question is, I did not come in from a degen standpoint into Web3. I came in as an artist. I came in as somebody that was incredibly interested in the sort of Web3 artistic revolution of artists getting royalties and being able to have a completely new medium to share with. I mean, the idea of you putting out a piece of work and then it could potentially not just, make your career, but give royalties to your descendants or to an organization, a charitable organization that you bequeath it to. That's amazing, right? That's where I came in. So the tokenomics, ape chain, very important, but I think I have a different definition of what mass adoption is. I think a lot of people, mass adoption is, you're going to come in and buy my bags, right? You're going to buy all my frog coins, and you're going to buy, all my donkey PFPs. That's not what I think mass adoption is. Mass adoption is, like you said, normies, normal people using blockchain, using NFTs, digital assets, seamlessly because they want to. It's sort of like credit cards didn't used to be a thing. People had cash or they had checks. They had the traveler's checks, Then credit cards were ubiquitous. Now tapping your phone, where your credit cards and your bank accounts live is becoming ubiquitous. These things didn't exist before. You didn't have to convince everybody to come in and believe in the technology. You just had to make it easy for them to use and worthwhile for them to use. So that's what I think we can do for normies as well. Starbucks Odyssey was a great example of this. Unfortunately, they shut down, but they made it so easy for people to use blockchain and not really know anything about it. I'm going to do the same thing with ApeChain and ApeCoin with our AIP that's coming up, to have comedy shows around the world. And we have to grow the population of people using ApeCoin beyond the current DAO and beyond even the current full ecosystem. You can get everybody to buy in, and it'd certainly be a lot of money in the Web3 space, but it's still an incredibly small amount of the population. So we do have to expand beyond who we are.
And do you see ApeChain like a game changer?
Yes, I do. That's the simple answer is yes, it's a game changer. I mean, the ApeCoin DAO has been sort of all over the place. Just the fact that it took us 2 years to get to the point of a vote for ApeChain. There's no reason why it couldn't have happened before. No reason why it couldn't have happened early. I mean, you could say, "Oh, we had to build up, the infrastructure of the DAO, and you had to establish." Sure, okay, but I think you should be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. ApeChain is very important. I talk with my friends at Horizon Labs, had a conversation with a gentleman who's doing a lot of the background technical stuff, and I could try to repeat what he said, and I wouldn't even be able to because it's not where my brain is. But it was very exciting. I felt like I was talking to a celebrity. Oh, you're the guy who's going to optimize the gas on ApeChain. Oh my God! So I am in those conversations. I am trying to bring builders that I know onto ApeChain. I'm in all the Yuga groups where people are talking about launching dApps on day one. I do think it's going to be a big deal. I think it could be a big deal for the coin. I think it'd be a big deal for the community. So yeah, it's a game changer, but I don't want it to be such a game changer that the DAO only focuses on ApeChain. I want builders like yourself and like me and like Ryan, who just put up his AIP for documentaries, and the dude who wants to make cookies, and the person who has a paper craft. Like, I want that too. I'm in the arts. I've worked in the arts my whole adult life. The arts are important, whether that's film, podcasting, comedy, art, fine art, whatever it is, and even other businesses that aren't in the arts. There's a guy who, and I can say this because he has his AIP public. It's a guy who wants to sell like individualized hydroponic growth refrigerators. I'm sure I'm not saying that correctly, but there's room for him and his company as well. If you have a dream and the DAO can fund it, especially if you want to give a return on investment, you should. And one thing I'll say is, don't get me wrong that I'm so lovey-dovey with the arts. Whenever I've had multiple conversations with people that say, should we give a return on investment to the DAO? Damn right, you better give a return on investment to the DAO. If it doesn't work out, that's one thing. But if you're going to make money from the money that the DAO gave you, and then you're not going to give back a rev share, I wouldn't vote for. Now that the DAO can, this is a relatively new thing in the past maybe 6-8 months. Now that the DAO allows you to give value back, you should. Yeah, and I'm not sure why anybody wouldn't. It's still unclear a little bit. The AIP authors are getting mixed signals from the powers that be at the DAO about what they can and can't do. Can you give equity? Well, a lot of times you're being told, no, it's too complicated. Can you be a partner? No, you can't be a partner because of international law. The DAO won't be a partner with you because then all of a sudden they have to be taxed by the United States government if you're a U.S. company. What you can do is give gross rev share. And that's what we're doing in our AIP, and that's what I suggest to the authors that I speak with. Yes, you should give back to the DAO so that you can fund more people in the future.
If you're elected, who would you like to work with?
Christina Ricci. I've always had a huge crush on Christina Ricci. I don't know why she'd be part of the DAO. I'm married, so is she. I mean, nothing's going to happen, but boy, Christina Ricci's always been somebody I'd like to work with. It doesn't matter. Who's ever, there are so many great people working for the DAO or running for the DAO. Right, running for special counsel. And there's maybe one or two that I think wouldn't be so fantastic. I don't want to shit on anybody. They're great in their own right, but not everybody's right for everything. But for the most part, everybody who's running is great. But we have an issue with people not running for stewardships, okay? We have people that are running for special counsel that are experts in tokenomics. Well, we happen to have a Web3 business development, working group. It would be great to have them over there. We have people running that are really great at marketing. We have a marketing and comms working group. It would be really great to have them over there. Not that they have every right to run for whatever they want to, but special counsel is a very specific role with very specific duties. Now, you can go above and beyond them, but you're going to do more good potentially in these working groups for those specialties than you are in special counsel. Special counsel is largely AIPs, and of course, special counsel does more than that. They're talking to all the delegations, they're ideating and trying to get AIPs up. But anyway, to answer your question, no, there's nobody who I'd rather work with more than anybody else. They'll all be fine.
So, is there a question that I didn't ask?
Well, I mean, certainly you can ask, what is something that I would like to see changed right away? And the answer to that, and we were talking about this before, is the admin review process of special counsel of the AIP. I've helped a lot of AIP authors. I am now a 2-time AIP author with 1 AIP in admin review. And for the people listening that don't know, and you know this because you've been an AIP author, the process is you create your idea, you put it up in the discourse, which is kind of like our version of Discord. It's like the old school bulletin boards almost, right? That hangs out for a week. At that point, you could decide to move it into draft phase. You can keep it in the ideation phase if you want to. Draft phase, the facilitators and the special counsel, sometimes legal, and the foundation, who are web slingers, they manage the foundation. They might ask you a series of questions. You probably got a series of questions for your AIP, and they say, "Is it okay to put this out publicly?" And so you say, "Yeah, sure." Then after a week of that, if everything is situated, they say, "Do you want to move into admin review?" And you say, "Yeah, sure." Admin review is just like they lock your AIP up in a magic closet, and you cannot ask questions. You cannot know anything. It is just absolutely mysterious. And I see no reason for it to be absolutely mysterious. Special counsel, even legal, even the foundation, they should not be all powerful. We are a decentralized autonomous organization. Legal, we have a great law firm. We have great lawyers, right? They are legal counsel. They are not the legal kingdom, okay? They give counsel to the special counsel and to the DAO. That's all it should be. It should not be running the DAO. The foundation, web slingers, I've had interactions with them. They're great. They're fantastic. They do a great job. They still should not be able to hold up things with no rationale behind why they're holding it up. And the special counsel's responsibility is to work with the foundation and legal to make sure that the AIPs being put out are not going to put the DAO in any kind of legal jeopardy, or there's not something that they're missing, which would find some kind of crazy loophole in the DAO and drain the treasury, or something like that. So if those metrics are met, then the AIP should be going up to vote right away. And, some weeks you have 5 to 8, some weeks you have 4. There's not anything that says you can't have 5 or 6 or 7, right, at the same time, okay? So admin review needs to get a lot less mysterious. The special counsel members need to give clarification on why AIPs are being held up, and not just a general, you still can't know anything, specific information. Well, here's why this AIP is being held up, okay? And not only would that help to clarify the situation for the AIP author that's being held up, it would help to clarify information for future AIP authors as well. But ultimately, in a decentralized autonomous organization, especially with ApeCoin DAO, we, the voters, have the responsibility and the right and privilege to decide what gets passed and what doesn't. The special counsel and the foundation and legal should not be putting their thumbs on the scale to decide what can even get past that. Okay, so you had Machi's AIP, which was monstrous, $11 million. It was held up, I've been told, for almost a year, okay, before it was put to vote. You have my friend Captain Zwingli, then SSP and Von Frunten. They had something called LFG Ventures, and that was held up for 4 months in admin review. And they just said today that they have revoked the AIP. They're not going to put it forward. They just got communications asking for clarification after 7 weeks. 7 weeks with radio silence, as far as I'm understanding it. I do talk to people on that team. 7 weeks. Why? We have lawyers. We're paying them quite well. Nothing has to languish for 7 weeks. And by the way, if there is something that needs 7 weeks of legal review, there is no reason why that cannot be communicated to the AIP author. Here's what's happening in the admin review process. Here's the reason why it's being held back again. Not silence. That's not appropriate. It's not okay. So that's something that I would like to see changed right away. And if there's a reason why it has to be mysterious and why the DAO members can't understand their own DAO, I would like the special counsel to tell me. But so far, there's no good reason besides we're just not going to tell you.
Maybe on Thursday, you might be running for a special election and your AIP live.
It's true. And I have no idea, right? And both are extremely important to me. My AIP is the culmination of 30 years of work in my industry. And you said it yourself. You find out the day before that this very, very important proposal, which is going to decide what you can do in the future and not do, that you find out 12 hours before, 24 hours before. It's a 2-week voting process. It's ridiculous. And the only reason why I've been told that it's held up that much is because they don't want AIP authors to go out before the snapshot date and buy a lot of ApeCoin to vote themselves, to vote their own AIP through. I don't know about you, my friend. I don't have $20 million to buy a whole bunch of ApeCoin to make that happen. And the people that do have it, they're going to buy it before the snapshot anyway, whether the AIP is going live or not. So if that is the only reason why, it's a little bit nonsensical. And if there are other reasons, well, why can't we know them, right? If they said, "Oh well, we're literally meeting the day before to decide what goes up," well, then if we know that, we can say, "Hey guys, that's a terrible idea. Can you please stop doing that?" Or do we have to write an AIP to say that you have to stop doing that? But the point is that we don't know, and this is a decentralized, autonomous organization. Now, part of decentralization is that people are supposed to do whatever they want to, but in this DAO, it really is supposed to be transparency. And by the way, the people on Special Council are great, right? Wabam and Hervé and Hazel and Bored Ape G and Captain Trippy, they're all fantastic, right? But I just don't understand why that we have this secrecy here. And I maybe they don't even know. Maybe they just don't know that people like us think it's a problem. I don't know.
Let's end with, if you want to send a message to send us off.
I've been involved in different clubs. I've been involved in different relationships over the course of my life, and being part of Bored Ape Yacht Club, being part of Mochaverse, being part of Journey Club here in Las Vegas, now Bulls on the Block, Surreal Guild. It has been an amazing adventure to get to know all these people and all these different delegations from all around the world. Making friends like yourself from all around the world is an absolute thrill. It's also a thrill to be part of this first generation of people dealing in blockchain and crypto to a certain extent. And we're all in a grand adventure together. Running for special counsel for ApeCoin is exciting. If I was elected to special counsel, it would be an absolute honor to be one of the first classes of special council members to help navigate the DAO to a place where ApeChain succeeds, where builders and AIP authors can succeed, and the DAO can succeed long term. It's just it's a very exciting time to be alive. So if you think I'm good for the job, vote for me, and I promise you I will not let you down.
Powered by Dixo and ApeCoin.